This video is going to show you an example of what it means to set up a paper in correct MLA format, but also how to cite sources and what I look for to make sure students are citing sources, or at least attempting to correctly. So if you look at the screen, this is a basic research paper. And as you can see, there are citations throughout and so forth. Okay, and I'm going to go all the way to the end, which will give us a works cited page. Okay, so if you look here, this is the basic formatting setup. It's Times New Roman, double spacing. You have your name, you have your professor's name, you have the course, and then you have the date. And it should be set up just like this. This does not go in the header. This just goes in the top left corner of the document. Now your last name and page number here, they go in the header. Okay, so you have to double click and then incorporate page numbers right aligned in the header here. Your last name and the page number. And then you have the title, and then you have your essay. Now the very first thing that I do whenever I'm looking at a research essay, students have used at least one source in here, whatever. I go straight to the works cited page, and I go through and I go and look for and find each of these sources within the actual essay. Now I'm going to show you another page. Okay, I'll bring it over here. Okay, here's that same essay. Okay, and what I did is I color coded. So I went to the works cited page. And guys, when you have a works cited page, that means that the sources you have listed on here, you have also referred to and used within your essay. If you did not use any of these sources in your essay, then they shouldn't be here. So the works cited page is only for sources that are used and referenced in your essay. And if you're required 3 or you're required 4, then that's how many that should be on here. Now, typically you can use more, but I try to tell students that your research needs to support you, not the other way around. You don't want too much research. So if you look, this is the correct formatting for a works cited page, where you still have your last name and page number, which it's the last page of your essay. And then you've got works cited centered here, and then you have each of your sources listed. They've got to be in correct ABC order, and the correct formatting has to be done for each. And you can look at the MLA cheat sheet that shows you how to do that. But if you look, I color coded because I wanted to show you how I look at research papers, what I do when I grade them. I don't even look at the essay first. I go straight to the works cited page. And so what I've done here is I've highlighted. So I've got Buchanan here. So what I do is I go, and it's in yellow, bright yellow, and I'll go through and I'll see if I can find, that's a lighter yellow. So we're doing a brighter yellow for the Buchanan. And I go and look for it. If I can't find it, that's a problem. See, right here's Buchanan. So that's a big check mark for this first source. Good to go because it's being used. Then I'll look for the next one. Okay. I'll go through and I'll look for that. And that's a light green here. More bright green. Right here. Okay. And page number. So that's what I do is I go through and I find every source that's listed on the works cited page. I find those sources used within the essay. If they're not, that's plagiarism. Okay. I have some students who are like, well, what if I forgot to take it off my works cited page? Well, you can't just forget to do that, because then it signals that you've used it when you really haven't. And that's something you really have to be conscious about. And when you're proofreading and looking over, make sure all of the sources listed on the works cited page can be found within your essay. Okay. If not, you're going to end up with a failing grade. So you have to make sure that the sources are listed here, they're cited within your essay, and that they match up. So the sources that you have listed here, in the works cited page, this is a long works cited page, all of them have to be cited within your essay. If they're not, even if just one is not, it's going to be a failing grade because you have to make sure there's an attempt to cite within the essay as well. Okay. If your source citation on your works cited page has page numbers, like if you look here, I'm going to use the green. If you look here, there's page numbers. Okay, so in the Kuntz source, you're going to have to list the specific page number that you used within your essay. So let's go to this. Okay, so right here, this information that preceded the citation came from page 147. And this is not a direct quote. This is a paraphrase because there's no quotation marks. But still, you need to put the page number that it came from if page numbers are provided in the works cited citation. See, there are none for the Buchanan source, so you won't list a page number. For this one, Developments in the Law, this is a long title here. You only have to use like the first word or the first few words of a long title. Let's go find this one within your essay. It's in the orange. Okay, right here it is. It just used the first word, and notice since there's no author of this source, you have to use what's next in that formula for a works cited citation, and that's going to be the title of the small work or the article title. And since there are quotation marks around this title, within the essay there needs to be quotation marks as well. And so there is around the first word, developments, and then you've got a page range right here because apparently this is a paraphrased piece of information that flows from pages 269 or 2069 to 2071. So, and that's fine to do that when you have paraphrase. Now, if this was a direct quote, all of it was a direct quote, then you'd need a specific page number that it came from. Okay? So there's page numbers here. This source does not have a page number. This source does not have page numbers. Neither does this one. Neither does this one. So a lot of them don't. Now, this one does. So let me change to this. So you'd have to make sure you specify what page number the information comes from. Let's look at the Monroe source. And look too, guys, you've got a source here that has two authors. You have to make sure when you cite within your essay this source, you have to give credit to both authors. Even though it's the same last name, you still have to give credit to both authors. So let's go find this source within the essay. It's a light, very light, peachy color. There it is. So Monroe and Monroe, space, and then you've got the specific page number. Okay, because look, there's part of this information used that's actually a direct quote. So you definitely need a page number there. So that's how you would cite a source with two authors. Okay, so this particular essay's got a lot of really good examples of how to cite sources that don't have an author, like this one, or how to cite sources that have page numbers, that don't have page numbers. So you've got tons of really good examples. Now look at this one. Well, actually, this one's just a single author. This one is two, and there's no page number, so let's find that one. It's Marcotti, and then you've got Yee. So you have two authors here, and it's in the purple. So let's go find that one. There it is. So there's parentheses, Marcotti and Yee, close parentheses, the period always comes at the end. Okay, so this is not a direct quote, so this is a paraphrase, but there's no page numbers because there are no page numbers indicated on the works cited page for this source. But you do give credit to the two authors. This one has no author. It begins with an article title, so that's what you cite. You cite always what's listed first within the essay. So let's go find this source in that aqua color. There it is. So mother's eggs, that's all that they used from this. It's the first two words. And they put it in quotation marks. There's no page number. And then you put it in the parentheses with a period at the end. Here's an author. No page numbers. Our history, this is another source that does not have an author, so this is what's going to be cited within the essay. And let's go find it. It's a light red. Let's go find it. There it is. Our history. So they just use the first two words of that citation. Okay. And then this one's pink. This one's, there's no page numbers. It's just going to be the author's last name. This source should have page number listed with it. So let's go find the Shanley source, the light gray within the essay. Okay, here's a light gray, and here's Shanley. So what they've done here, instead of putting the author's last name in the citation, they've introduced the information from that source with who said it. So if you do that, which is another way you can cite sources, if you do that, you have to put, according to or as Mary Lyndon Shanley points out, then you're going to give what this particular author said, and then you're going to incorporate the page number if there is one given in the citation. So in this case there is. In a lot of cases they're not, so you just would put that period then in quotes. But this is how you introduce information with who said it and cite the source using the page number. Okay, let's go. Okay, this one's in dark blue. This is also a title. It's hard to see, so you put the first couple words of the title, or you could put the whole thing. This is the dark gray. There's no page number. This is a light yellow. And let's find the light yellow one in the text. And there it is. They just used the first word, and that's fine. So what I did is I actually pulled up this paper, and I said, okay, I'm going to go to the works cited page. I'm going to highlight. I'm going to make sure all these sources are cited within the essay, and they are, every single one of them. And there are no new ones cited in the essay, which could be plagiarism too. If you don't have all of them that you've used within the essay listed on the works cited page, that's considered plagiarism. So I went through and looked, and all of the sources have been cited, some of them multiple times. I just highlighted the one time usually that they were used. And so there's no plagiarism, unless I go in and look and see that some of the information used does not match up to the author that said it. So, I go through and I check those too. I go through and I check all of your sources. It's a lot, but I do it to make sure that you're doing this the correct way. And then I'll go in now and I will read the essay. I will look for grammar errors. I will look for how the research is used within the essay itself, making sure it's relevant research, making sure that you're just not slapping in some research there just because you have to. You want to make sure you use relevant, meaningful, insightful information, that you're not repeating what you've already written, your ideas. You want to give information that helps prove your points. Okay? So I wanted just to kind of go through the process of what I look for in making sure that students cite sources correctly. Now, I do have, and I have provided this for you, it's the MLA cheat sheet. And this is broken apart into 3 sections. You've got formatting, you've got in-text citations, and that means within your essay, how to cite sources within your essay. Okay, I've given the 2 ways to cite sources within your essay by introducing the information, and then the second way is just the parenthetical citation, which will be at the end of the information used. So this gives pretty much any type of scenario, like if there's no author, how do I cite that within my essay? If there's no page numbers, that type of thing. If there's more than one author, if there's 3 authors, if there's 4 authors, this gives you all of the different possible scenarios or examples you might run into when citing sources. And then you have kind of a checklist for creating a works cited page. And I've also provided a couple examples here, or an example of the basic formula for, citing a website, because most of the time that's what we're doing is citing websites. This will give you the formula, And then this will actually give you an example of that formula so you can see how that would look. Okay? But any and all information